communities, serving their communities. So welcome, welcome, welcome. And I'm so delighted tonight, y'all. We have a wonderful guest. And his name, I know y'all have seen my posts because, yeah, I've been posting all day, every day since Sunday about him. He's an author, very good author and entrepreneur. And I'll let him tell you the rest of what he is. Jay, I think I'm going to bring you on up here. Welcome to Gold Digger Diaries, Jay.
Hey, how you doing, Felicia?
Y'all meet Jay Welsby. Jay, say hi to our guests, our gold friends.
Hey, everybody, how y'all doing? Happy to be
All
on.
right. Well, as I was sharing with everyone, Jay, you are an author, and I have had the opportunity to look at your book, and I'm excited to talk with you about that. We'll get into that later, but I want to say welcome to Gold Digger Diaries and thank you for joining us, and thank you for taking the time to join me tonight to talk with me. I want to talk about you. Who is Jay Welsby, and just give our viewers a little bit of background about yourself, where you're from, your businesses. What are you doing?
Well, I'm doing a whole lot of things.
Uh-oh, I hear you.
Yeah, so I was actually born in West Palm Beach, Florida. I ended up moving to Goose, Florida after that. That's like a little country part of Miami. And after Hurricane Andrew, I ended up moving to Oaktown, which is a historical Black area in Miami. And from there, I moved to Atlanta to fulfill my dreams. I have many trades. I have a trade in tile setting. I have a certificate in plastering. I'm also a certified barber, a licensed barber. I'm an artist as well. I've just started doing body painting, which is something new and something interesting. And I'm also an author. Um,
Yes, you
I
are.
started writing, let's say, about 10 years ago. I started my journey on Facebook writing stories for free. I built the following, and everybody was encouraging me to write my first book. And I sat down and wrote my first book, which is called Change. You Will Never Look at Cheating the Same Way Again.
Yes, I can't wait to finish reading that one. So,
So you intrigued so far?
yes, I am intrigued so far. When you say never look at cheating the same again, we're going to get into that, especially in light of the things that's been happening with Mr. Jackson. So everybody's wanting to talk about
Yeah,
cheating.
they parallel. They come together. Like I thought that was so interesting that happened.
Everybody want to talk about Derek Jackson, but we won't talk about him per se, but we'll talk about cheating and how to look at it differently. Because I can't
Okay.
imagine how you look at it differently, but we're gonna get to that. But Jay, I have a question. You said you moved here from the Miami area, right?
Yes, I did.
So how do you go from the beach to how are you adjusting to that?
Well, my biggest thing from moving from Miami is that Miami is not South Beach. There's a lot of areas in Miami that are not so nice, and I pretty much stayed in one of those areas. So I wanted to get away from the drugs, the violence, and I
Okay.
thought Atlanta would be more supportive to my goals by it being so many successful African Americans here. I thought my journey up here would help me push my books, and everything else that I desire to do.
Okay. Well, Atlanta is kind of a mecca for entrepreneurship for sure. I moved to Florida for a couple of years, and we were in Central Florida, Kissimmee. And man, I love the weather. I loved it all, but there's nothing like the vibe here. It's just a different vibe when it comes to trying to do you make your go, make your vision happen. It's because everybody's hustling. It's a different energy.
Yeah, I totally agree with that because Black people feel like the ones that I meet feel like they're responsible for helping you to grow,
Mm.
helping your business. On many occasions, when somebody has supported me, they always say, "Man, I have to support what you're doing," and that's just a different narrative for other parts of America.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It is. It's very different. But you'll find. I'm sure already know. You find a lot of support here.
Yes, more, way more here. But I haven't traveled everywhere, so I have to go and explore other places. But Atlanta has proven itself.
Yeah, yeah. Well, thank you. We're glad you're here. So tell me about your T-shirt brand. What is your T-shirt
Oh,
brand?
I didn't. Wow, I missed. How do I do that? I missed my T-shirt brand. My T-shirt brand. That was actually my first baby. My T-shirt brand. The truth behind the T-shirt brand. I used to be a knucklehead back in the day, so I used to go to jail a lot. I
Ah,
remember the last time I went, I was 32 years old, and the young fellas in there was calling me Unc, which means uncle, which means you're too old to be in here.
wow, wow.
So I was determined not to go back to jail. So the one thing that I did was I wrote quotes while I was locked up. So I wrote like over 350 different quotes.
Wow.
So what I wanted to do, because I don't think everybody has time to open up a book or read books of affirmation and quotation, have books that have quotes in it. So I decided to take my quotes and put them on T-shirts. So my brand is called The Message Shirts because my book that I was going to actually write was going to be called The Message. So I just took that and made it into a T-shirt brand.
I love it. That is
Thank you so much.
awesome.
Thank
So
you.
how can our viewers see your shirts and order your shirts?
Well, right now I'm rebranding my T-shirt brand. So right now I'm pretty much giving away shirts. Um, and so if they can inbox me on Facebook, which my name is Jerry Wells on there, my actual name, and I'll send a shirt out to them if I have their sizes. Because what I'm
Okay.
doing is I'm getting rid of my old inventory and I'm bringing some new inventory in.
Okay. I'm gonna write that down. You said Jerry Wells, right?
Yes.
Um okay, and what I will do is I will put it, make sure it's in the comments and make sure it's on a link to that Facebook page is on the YouTube channel as well, so that
Okay.
people can get your shirts.
Yeah, I'm definitely fine with that.
So tell us a little bit about what prompted you to become an author. What was the driving force that said, "Oh yeah, I'm going to write a book"?
Well, it actually happened by mistake, really. I never knew myself to be a writer. What ends up happening around the time of the recession, the one that George Bush pretty much caused, um, I lost my job as a construction worker, and at that time I was doing tile work. So I was home for like a year and a half. So with that much time off, I was like really bored, and I didn't have too much to do. So I ended up watching this movie. We all know it's called Stella Got a Groove Back,
Yeah.
and it inspired me to write my first story on Facebook, which was called Keisha Got Her Groove Back.
Okay.
And I got a lot of praise for that, and I decided to write another story. And the next story was called Going to Visit Stacy. And at that time, I was going to visit my brother in federal prison. And I remember when I went in there, I saw women being visited by men. And I was
Mm,
like, wow, wouldn't that be an interesting story to talk about a man visiting his woman instead of a woman visiting his her man. So I did that story, and then I wrote a couple other stories, and I started getting encouraged. People was like, man, you need to write, man, you write real well, blah blah blah. And I actually can write from the top of my head. So change, you'll never look at cheating The same way again was actually written without an outline. I
Wow.
wrote most of
Really?
that book in the barbershop while when
Really?
I had my downtime. I would sit and I would write on my laptop.
Wow. That's amazing. So this is your gift. This is your gift.
Yeah, I for a long time I didn't want to admit that because I was like a C average student. I actually graduated from high school with all C's, and I was actually terrible in English. So how this gift came, I don't know. God just He stole it upon me, and I took it, and I was like, you know what, God, I'm gonna trust you.
There
So
you
that's
go.
how it really happened. It's a true
And you
story.
have to. And the Bible says, now I don't like to get preachy, but the Bible does say that your gifts will make room for you. And your
Mm,
gift is making room for you
thank you so very
in
much.
the world. So I'm just excited for you, and I encourage you to just keep on pushing and keep on writing, honey, because the best is yet to come. Trust.
Oh, I appreciate that, Miss Felicia.
Oh yeah, you're welcome. Now, I know what inspired you to write. Now, we're gonna start delving into this erotica because that's a whole different style of writing. So, can you share with our viewers what inspired you to write erotica as your first book?
Whew, the truth of the matter, and a lot of people don't understand is that my book actually is not an erotica. But the reason why it is because the sexual content in the book. But this is a long journey for Jacob Richardson. I had to actually sit down and discuss sexuality in this book just for people to understand the mindset of a habitual cheater. So
Mm,
obviously, I had to describe sex scenes in the book because I wasn't going to not tell the truth. I wanted to tell the truth of what goes on behind the scenes or in
mm. Okay, okay.
the.
You want to read us a little something, something so we can talk?
You say what?
You want to read us a little steamy uh, blurb so we can talk about it?
Uh, I,
About Jacob.
I like reading the what's called. I like reading the introduction because I think that's what get people into the
Mm,
story.
okay,
So and then you get to learn a new word.
okay,
So you
okay.
don't mind if I do that?
I don't mind at all. I'm
Thank you.
here for it.
Because some
Okay.
people don't even know how to pronounce this word in this first paragraph. So here we go. I'm gonna read 3 paragraphs. That's fine with you?
That's fine with me.
Okay, so here we go. The introduction. Hello, my name is Jacob Richardson, and I'm a degenerate nympho. Oops, I meant to say I'm a corrupted satyriasis. My therapist diagnosed me with the proper term a few years after my marriage. He explained that only a woman can be a nympho. A man, on the other hand, is labeled a satyriasis. By definition, a satyriasis is a man who has uncontrollable sexual urges. My sexual urges were so bad that I taught myself how to fulfill them at any cost. I've had sex with 3,213 women.
Wow.
I'm not fabricating this either. The reason why I know I'm accurate is because I wrote down every woman that I have slept with in my little black book, whether I knew their names or not. I kept my black book secretly hidden away from my wife. I couldn't have her interfere with my sex addiction. I was a womanizer to say the least. It has been an ongoing problem ever since I could remember. Sex and women stayed on my mind every minute of the day. Any idle time I had was spent on sexual thoughts. I prayed all the time for change, but I knew deep down inside the only way I could change was by force.
Ooh, by force. Wow. Well,
Thank you.
Mr. Jacob Richardson. So, Jay, that was a great paragraph, great
Thank
excerpt from the book. So, can you parallel that for me to, and I don't want to give too much attention to what everybody's been talking about for the last 2 weeks, but it's so much, it sparks so much conversation. Can you parallel that to the situation with Mr. Jackson and maybe put a positive spin on it? Like what needs to happen to, but that would might be going into your book, but I want people to buy your book to read it. But give us your take on what's happening with him as it juxtaposed to your book.
Well, the one thing about being a great cheater is being great at deceiving people.
Mm.
And that's the one thing that cheaters do. They're going to throw you something out there, which is like a smoke screen, while they're doing something else behind the scenes. So I really didn't keep up with Brother Jackson. I didn't know anything about him until the incident happened. So when I looked at him, I was like, "Who this guy is?" So when I looked at him, I was like, "Damn, bro, I ain't, he is a handsome man. He's handsome. He's dark. He got muscles. He's attract like he's going to get women.
Oh yeah, absolutely,
Like without him opening his mouth, he gonna get a woman.
absolutely.
Now putting it that he's talking in a way whereas in I'm hearing that he used to like bash men. I'm not quite sure,
Yeah,
but he
he
was
did.
trying to make himself look like the most upstanding husband on the planet. He said all the right things. Now,
Yep.
the one thing I learned about women is sometimes they want what they can't have. And
Mm.
pushing like he's just this great man. There's so many women that was captivated by him. So you got to understand how many women he had to turn down
Mm.
per week, whatever. But sooner or later, somebody was gonna get to him.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And with that being said, he did what he did. I honestly think it is hard being a successful man in society
Mm.
and staying with only one woman. Anybody
Really?
that can do that, I would love to shake their hand and I say, man, I respect you being morally correct.
Yeah,
A
yeah.
vast majority of men, um, it's hard being with one woman. I'm just gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest. It's hard for some women, but I'm gonna speak from the men side. I'll let a woman chime in on the other side, but for men, hey, it's hard.
I believe, my husband and I, we have another brand that caters to couples, married couples.
Mm,
But I believe, in all my open mindedness, I believe that by nature, men cannot be monogamous. By nature, a woman can. However, my husband's argument is there are rules, there are laws, there are vows. I get that. So, yes, if you commit to it, yes, you can not cheat or whatever. But I believe the very nature of a man is to not have one woman. And I know I'm gonna probably get a lot of flack from that, but I don't excuse the behavior. But I'm just saying, just think of the basic instinct of a man. It's different from our instinct. We can be abstinent for years and not even worry about it. A man by nature cannot do that because biologically, he has to ejaculate every 72 hours. Now that's biology. so
well, okay, go ahead.
so what is it? Well, I know the vows and being committed, you can commit to anything you want to. So it can be done. You don't have to cheat. But by nature, I think it's the instinct is there, is what I'm saying. What you think?
I think it's in between. I think some of it is a learned behavior.
You think?
you know, you got to understand like who your childhood heroes are growing up, and I always try to explain that to people. Whoever you look up to, that is what you're going to emulate when you get older. So prime example, my dad. The reason why my mother, left my dad is because he cheated. Um, she tried to kill him. Now I didn't know this until I was older, but that's my day one, right? So then you turn around and you get introduced to your uncle. Your uncle a player. Every time he got a when he out to the shopping, I mean out grocery shopping, he's flirtatious with the women. So that's another image that you're getting in your head that this is the way it's supposed to be. Then you turn around and look at the old, what they call those movies, the black exploitation movies, whereas in you got the Mac, you got Dolomite, you know what I'm saying? All them players. Then you turn around and get a movie like Boomerang. Then you get a movie like How to Be a Player. And these become images in your mind. You know what I'm saying? Like all the coolest dudes had the most women. What else do we have? You got the rap music. I grew up on rap, so I mean, they never really talked good about women. It was bitches and hoes, and I had sex with your girlfriend, fucked your wife. It has always been like an empowerment thing to have multiple women. You got porno flicks around the house growing up. You might have snuck and watched that. A man going from one woman to the next, a woman going from one man to the next. So it has always been an image in your head. So at what point do you grow out that image? Messing up your home. Your wife want to leave you, or she leaves you, or your girlfriend leaves you. She can't take it. You have all the money in the world, but she can't deal with the fact that you cheated on her. So when you keep messing up your home, after a while, you start saying, like, wait a minute, there has to be something wrong with what I'm doing because I'm hurting the people that I love. They're leaving me. And you come to this realization one day that, you know what, I need to chill.
But there again, that's the individual. I cheating has been happening since the beginning of time. Men have had multiple women. You look at African tribes; they've had multiple women.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a family member that I grew up with. He was we thought he was very faithful to his wife. Well, hell, he ended up having a whole family that nobody knew about while he was married, which happens a lot in our community. And well, I'm sure it happens beyond our community, but I can speak to it happening in our community. So it's like, and usually the women back then, I'm talking 60s, 70s, they found out about it, accepted it, let it go, and stayed. They didn't ruffle feathers. They didn't. So is it that we emulated our grandmothers and mothers and we tend to stay and put up with the cheating? Or, I mean, I don't know. Do you emulate your father? Because you said he cheated.
No, I'm not a cheater right now.
But you have been.
Cheating to me, it just costs too much. Then it's time consuming.
Really?
So, I just at this point in my life, I'm single, so I could do what I want to do. But back then, yeah, I cheated. I have cheated.
Why?
Huh?
Why?
It's no reason why I saw somebody I wanted to have sex with. I don't do all that. I don't. I hate that. Person give you a reason like, oh well, you saw somebody.
But what kept you from being committed? What was it that made you feel like it was okay and you didn't respect your relationship enough to say, I'm not gonna do this
Um, I was
because you
going
have
through a good
control.
phase in life. I was going through a real good phase in life. Like I was making a lot of money. Um, I was wearing nice clothes. I went wherever I wanted to go, did whatever I wanted to go. I mean, do. And once again, I wasn't cognitive yet of why I shouldn't cheat. That was a behavior that I had been doing for a while, you know. But let me go on and say the book is not about me. So, but the book is not about me.
It's
But
fiction.
what I'm saying that at that time, I mean, I wasn't turning nothing down. I wasn't. I mean, if somebody came, they look good, whatever the case may be, and it wasn't nothing like at that time my girl was doing anything wrong, so she wasn't to blame. It was just a behavior pattern that I had been consistent with for a long time.
Hmm. I don't know how to respond to that, sir.
It's the truth.
Okay.
I mean, do you want me to get on your show and lie or tell the truth?
No, I want the truth because the
Okay.
truth needs to be told. Absolutely. But I get it. Like I said before, I believe that it's in the nature of a man anyway, biologically. But most men just that are married or committed, they manage it, or they're really into their vows or their commitment that they've made to someone. But I think the basic instinct is there. But women cheat too, so I don't know.
I know. I
So
know.
that's up for debate, which I love to debate. So my friends and I always debate that.
Well, women be getting it down.
Shut up. No, we
Y'all just smoothed it. Y'all just smoother than we are.
don't hate. Don't hate because we
Oh, I
smooth.
don't hate. I don't hate.
So Jay, what are you hoping that what do you want? What is the messaging from change and change to your readers? What are you hoping that your readers will gain from reading the book?
My biggest reason behind this book is I wanted to talk about people that have sex addictions.
Okay.
That it's not necessarily the person that they're with that is causing this. This is something that is going on in their mind.
Mm,
And a lot of people don't seek therapy. They run to God, but they don't seek therapy. And I'm never going to say there's nothing wrong with going to God about anything. But a lot of people, a lot of black people in the community need to start going to therapy and really talking about their issues.
mm.
God can fix certain things, but there's certain things that we need to take upon ourselves and be proactive so he can help us, you know, behind the scenes.
So I agree. I agree that we do need to seek therapy more. Um, what is the definition of a sex addict? What does that look like?
Well, you have two different types. So, I mean, men and women. So, as I was reading, you got a nymphomaniac, which is the woman, and you have the men who are the satyriasis. A lot of people don't know there's a different definition. I mean, well, a different term for females and males. So, what it looks like for a person with a sex addiction is 9 times out of 10 they wake up in the morning at some point thinking about sex. 9 times out of 10, if they get around a woman that is showing a bit too much, their mind go to sexual thoughts. Um, it's numerous things that they deal with throughout the day. If they're not having sex, then they're more than likely masturbating. At some point throughout their day, maybe once, twice, maybe even 3 times a day. Um, everything they're if they every pretty much every woman that they're attracted to, they automatically have a sexual thought towards them. Um, and they got to have it. Like their main goal and objective is to get in a woman's panties. It's not to really get to know her. And you got women the same way, but like for men that have sex addiction, like they are really at it, and they need to have sex, and it's pretty bad with them. But a lot of people won't discuss it though.
Oh, we gonna discuss it because I'm sitting here like, well, I like sex, but that don't mean I'm an addict. I wake up thinking about sex.
See, you might be an addict. You just don't want to
I'm
admit
not a sex addict, and I don't need therapy.
it. None of us do. None of us do.
No, I'm just saying that there's a fine line. I believe there could just be. I think women definitely are mislabeled sometimes as nymphos when they just have a high sex drive, and men may be labeled as whatever. What is the name?
Satiriasis.
Satyriasis. When they just are high sex people, they just like sex. I know people like that.
I mean, okay, so here I like that what you just said. So let's do this example. A man and woman together. So he's a satiriasis and she got an okay sex drive, right? So at some point, and I notice how this goes with men and women. We might have a point where we get in a bad argument or I do something stupid and you're mad at me and you keep sex away from me, right? So a satiriasis thinking pattern will not be able to compromise with that woman.
I got
understand, like you're going through something. A satiriasis personally don't give a damn about your emotions right now. I have a need. You're not fulfilling it. So guess what he's going to do?
Cheat.
I'll be right back. I need to go to the store.
Yeah. Yeah. And that could be opposite too.
Either or. Either way.
Yeah.
Either way. So there's no compassion or understanding when it comes to a satiriasis or a nymphomaniac. There's none. So that's the part that makes it a sex addiction. Because I'm not able to comprehend right now what you're going through when I'm telling you right now I'm going through something internally that I need to have sex. I don't give a damn. We argued earlier. I don't care nothing about that. I don't care that you're mad at me. I need to have sex. And I want to have it with you, but you're mad. So I'm about to go to the store. I'll be right back.
And see, that's where that breakdown in communication comes too, because and being with someone that's on equal footing with you sexually, because most of the time, what I know about, I've been married. This is my second marriage, and what I know about friends that are dating or married, once women get settled into the relationship and doing life and doing kids and it's probably going to taper off a little bit from what it was at first. But men typically have the expectation that it's going to stay the same. But 9 times out of 10, it's not going to stay exactly the same. It might go like that. So what you're saying to me, if there is a man who is addicted or a female woman who's addicted to sex, they can't even comprehend that life can get in the way and your sex life may dwindle a little bit or
no, they can't.
Well,
they don't want to.
But that's not realistic.
I know it's not.
Yeah.
I know it's not. It's not. But you have to be in those people's shoes.
Yeah.
To understand that it's a constant, ongoing thing that clicks in their mind.
Wow.
Well, if they can have sex 365, they will. If they can have sex 5 times a day, they will.
Oh, that would be a bit much.
I mean, it's man.
Well, that's it. I cannot wait to refinish your book. Let's see here. Where am I on it? I got it right here on my little iPad.
Oh, that's what's up. That's great.
So
hold on. Put that. Hold on.
What?
Put it back up for me one more time. Put that book back up.
Okay. Wait a
That's
minute,
what's
can you
up.
see it?
I see it.
Got it on my trusty iPad.
Thank you. How am I doing so far?
You are doing great. You got my Tracy over here got her eyes all crossed and smiley faces. Smash sad. Tracy, what that mean? Give me some more feedback, sis. I think she put that up when we were talking about sex drives. So, but this is good conversation. I just we're actually broadcasting to one of the groups that I have. I found it, and it's mature conversations about relationships. And this cheating thing comes up all the time, all the time. It's just all about cheating sometimes, and I think it's definitely something that needs to be talked about. I think your book is very timely. Um, and I think we need to talk about it because it's happening. And we need to figure out if we're going to be in relationships, how do we make it work? And how do we, but you said therapy. And maybe that needs to be therapy together. And we can talk about this addiction. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is because I'm not a professional therapist, but there needs to be some conversations around it. And I can't wait to invite you to the group to really go take a deeper dive into some of the things that come up around cheating because it's not just the act of cheating. It's not just the act of being a sexual addict. It's so much more. It affects how you move in your relationships and how you move in life really because it's something that you definitely got to get under control at some point. But you got to be open to therapy, and like you said, we're typically not open to therapy.
I'm definitely. I see. Okay, Trace.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a
it's
question for you.
taboo. It's like a lot of people don't. A lot of people believe they're going to cure themselves on their own, and I'm gonna be honest with you. But some things you can, and some things you can't. And I think from a realistic point, I think people need to honestly sit down and talk about what's going on with them. Like, why are they the way they are? And I can't explain how difficult that conversation would be to come home and be like, "Hey, babe, I got a sex addiction. Um, I be needing coochie like 5, 6, 7 times a day from you. I know you got a job and all, but maybe on break I can come up there, hit you off with something." Uh, so I try to understand the difficulty of that conversation.
Yeah, yeah,
And most people are more comfortable with hiding than they are expressing themselves. And it's not to say that they don't love the person that they're with. It's just they don't know how to tell them, like, I got a serious problem. And, you know, we look at cheating sometimes as only sexual. Um, but, you cooking somebody some food that I like to eat from you, I can look at it as cheating as well. So cheating comes in different forms. Um, Conversations that are inappropriate, that
mm,
can lead to something. A lot of people they be quick to say, "Oh, she was just text me. I don't want her." But if you read the content of the messages, you can see that they're leading to something.
yeah, yeah. You can't open that door, really. Not if you're trying to be in a committed relationship. Um, I don't think you should open that door. But what about if you're just dating? Like if you're just dating,
What dating? What you mean? Dating while
like
you're married or dating you're single?
no, just dating. You're single.
Oh, so what about that?
Because then, if you're a sex addict, does it matter? and you're just dating somebody
And you're single.
and you're single.
Oh yeah, man. Hey, that's when it's fun for a sex addict. That's when it's fun. That's the
Okay.
best. I can call you tomorrow, might not call you. It was good. It was nice. So a
Thanks.
person that is a sex addict, um, dating, that's like going to the candy store. Uh,
That's problematic.
it is. It is. But now I'm not. Only thing it is you can end up living an empty life being having a sex addiction. Now they don't say that. Now, that's the one part that you can brag about how many women you sleep with and whatever the case may be. But as you get older, that can really become a very lonely and empty life.
Absolutely.
And at some point, it's not even fulfilling no more.
Absolutely. I agree. I agree. So we're gonna go back a minute, because Tracy has a comment or question. So my husband won't do therapy. Now what? What do you suggest? What would that?
Um, that 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 is difficult within itself. I wouldn't know the approach to try to get him to do therapy. But obviously, if you're seeing that and you believe that he needs therapy, I really don't know how to convince anybody to go and get therapy. I would keep mentioning it from time to time, or I'll go with you. That could help. Or I went to see the therapist today. Something trying to get him to give in, because 9 times out of 10, if he doesn't get help, he's not going to change. That's the one thing I know in life. People can pretend for a good week, maybe two, but they're going to always go back to what they know.
So as a woman, if you're dating someone that you suspect or find out is a sex addict, how do you manage that? How do you, if it's somebody that you're trying to be with, what do you do?
If she's a sex addict,
No, if he's a sex addict.
okay, okay. If a
So
woman
what's a woman
deals with a
supposed
man
to
that
do?
is a sex addict, oh boy, interesting. I would say start working out. I would say, start working out. Because that person probably got a real high drive, sex drive. It's gonna be hard for you all to be together if your sex drive is low and his is high. Because he's wired differently from you. Like, you have some couples that get together and they look good together, but behind closed door they're terrible together. And the reason being is, I mean, I'm just saying, this is my opinion, that you might have one person with a high sex drive and the other one with a low one. And I would hate to be in that household with them arguing about, am I going to get some tonight?
But that's good. But that's what I'm saying to you, Jay. That's gonna be, if you're over time, as you are in a committed relationship, it's not gonna be equal. It's gonna do this a little bit at some points in the relationship.
What you
So,
mean that
but
he's
that
not
does
really
not
sex
excuse the
anymore?
cheating.
Huh?
But that should not excuse the cheat. I mean, I get. Let me make sure I'm asking this right. There's going to be lows and highs in your sex relationship and in your sex life, in any relationship. There's
I
going to be
agree.
highs and lows. Life happens. You might have a couple who have been together for 10 years. Well, when they first got together, oh, it was on and popping. There were no kids, there was no life, there was no working all the time, there was no I got to cook dinner, there was no life wasn't happening. It was just sex. You had when I married my first husband, the first year we were at it all the time, but life happens. So I mean, but that doesn't mean because you like sex that you should go, or because you're a sex addict, you call it. I just say you got a high sex drive.
I just well, go ahead.
That you go and cheat, right?
I mean, that's a fairy tale. I mean, I wish it was true. I wish it was true. I
Really?
wish it was, but a man has to be ready to be committed. It
Right.
has absolutely nothing to do with you or
Mm,
what you do. Because whatever you do and however you do it and how great you do it, if his mindset is not correct when he gets into the relationship, at some point he's gonna go back to what he knows.
okay. Well,
He's
there you
gonna go
go.
back. If he's a hunter, like he could be at the gas station. He just left the house. Just left it. Y'all made beautiful love in the morning. And he at the gas station and a pretty young thing walked by him. And he says something and she bites. Get ready for company.
Wow.
But I'm not saying that's all men. So let's correct
No.
that too. Let's correct that. Because I don't want no woman walking away thinking all men are dogs. No, we're not. There's some great men out here.
Oh,
But I'm
absolutely.
just talking about the ones that's with the shit.
The sex addicts, like your character in the book.
Yes, Jacob Richardson. He's definitely gonna be a household name.
Man, I can't wait to hear how Jacob comes through this. Y'all need to get that book. I downloaded it today. It's really good. So Shannon has a question for you. Are you saying that recovery for a sex addict and a sex from for a sex addict and the sex addict will always cheat? Is there no recovery for them?
I
Did
can't
Jacob
say
recover in the book? Did he recover?
you got to read the book. I'll never tell you. Never, never, never. Um, what I will say to that is you can't use the word always and never. You can't. Like it's just impossible. There are a selective few that get over the addiction, either through health, financial difficulties that finally bit them in the ass and they finally understand like I need to calm down. Um, but you have a lot of them, man, they struggle with it, man. They struggle with it. You know, they really do. Like, you know, and it's sort of like being an alcoholic or a weed head or a druggie or whatever. It's like you'll wake up in the morning like, man, I need to stop doing this. And then by the afternoon, you right back on your whatever you was doing before. So
Wow.
it's like a constant mental struggle.
Oh,
It's
wow.
like rehabilitating. You know, you might go in dormant for a minute. You might go in dormant for 5 years and don't do nothing, but then all of a sudden you're gonna have a relapse.
Oh, do they have a 12 step?
Oh,
They got
please
a
hear me out.
12
It's not
step
all.
program. My name is Jacob and I'm a sex addict. Do they have a 12 step program?
I'm pretty sure they do. I remember Tiger Woods. They sent them to some sex rehabilitation center. I
That's
don't know if it
right.
helped, but
I remember that. Tiger was
yeah, they got him.
see I just don't know. I just don't like the label sex addict, I guess. But I just think it's just nature. They're just like sex.
I
I don't
mean, you
know.
know, they label everything. They label
Yeah.
everything. So, you know, it might only thing the problem is this the problem. This the biggest problem. Is the ideology of somebody has to be faithful and loyal to you. That
Mm,
is the reason that you have so many people called cheaters
mm,
of these wedding vows or this notion in your head that somebody has to be loyal to me. And the minute they do what human nature is for themselves, that's when everybody get bent out of shape and all this other stuff. But it's like you really trapping. That's why people get hurt because they put in their mind that this person's supposed to be loyal to me. And 9 times out of 10, the biggest trick people do to themselves is they always look at what I do for you. Since I did this, you should be loyal to me.
Mm.
So that's why you get people so hurt at the end when they find out somebody was doing what human nature is. It's to
See,
have sex.
now you're about to open up a whole nother conversation.
Oh no, they ain't ready for that one.
Yeah, that's a whole nother
They
debate
ain't
right
ready
there,
for that
brother.
one. They ain't ready for that one.
But that's what I'm saying. It all goes back to because I think we have to remember, and I'm just gonna say it because that's what I think. I'm married. I say vows. I do that I believe in, but I also believe that that what we call marriage is man made. Those are man made laws.
It
I feel
is.
like if
It
you
is.
commit
Thank
for your
you.
higher power
Thank you.
with another, then you're committed to that person before your God. I don't think it takes a piece of paper or the state telling you it's okay. Or so we live in like two worlds here. And some people take the biblical context. It's like, but I don't know. I don't know if the Bible really had man-made laws and stuff in it that said you have to do certain things in a marriage. I don't know. Um, or to be in a marriage, I know you're supposed to do certain things to be in there, but I don't know. I have different opinions on some of that stuff.
Yeah, I definitely got an opinion. Like, that's why people stay in miserable marriages and relationships.
I did it for 23 years because
We,
I was
we
trying
feel
to
like
live
we're
by the
so
law.
obligated to be unhappy.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're not happy, you're not happy. I
Yeah.
mean, how many people go to count? Like, I have seen this before too. They have went to counseling, right, for a therapist to convince them what ways to make each other happy, right? So
Mm.
they'd be like, oh, well, you need to hold her hands more. What is her love language? Or what is his love language? And all this other shit, right? So when you think about it, over time, you're only doing it because somebody told you to do
Mm.
it. It wasn't in you.
Mm.
So over time, when you get tired of the person or they go back to what they've been doing, guess what you're going to do? You're going to go back to what you've been doing, despite what the therapist said, because it's not in y'all to be with each other. It was cool at the beginning. Y'all was so hot and heated. But once y'all really got to know each other, y'all found out that y'all really don't like each other. And then y'all stay around for love. Like I love love, but I rather somebody like me than to love me. And I'm being so honest. Like I get love. Love is like long term and it's stronger. It's stronger than life. But the reason why I prefer somebody to like me because I notice when somebody likes me, they do more for me compared to when they love me. Because when they love me, they start being content. They start being complacent. But when they like me, they getting their hair done. They putting on the hot shoes. They got. It just always worked better for me when somebody likes me and when I like them. Hello, Felicia. Hello, hello, hello. I don't know either. Are you serious? What? That's crazy. Oh man, I was enjoying myself. Yeah, we got to do a part two because I got my sister too. So, so that could be reading into, the second book because I want to do it too much, but I will let people know the second part is the reason why I wrote this book, stating that this is what you don't have. But the second book is about consciousness. The first book is more or less right. So hopefully we can possibly get us into the book or whatever conversation was. I'm intrigued because maybe you can ask me certain questions about the book. But whatever you want to do on it. Okay. Okay. No problem. I'm good. How did I do that? How was it? Okay. Okay. That's okay. I'm not sure. So, whenever you all ready for me to come back, just let me know. I'll send a date and make sure. Because now I know. So that's good. Are you in there? Do you ever do like different beats and stuff? Do you like kind of like that when you have beats and stuff like that? Because I always try to go to those things like that. My books might be if you ever do one, like you know, you got to do things because you know I said it. Come out. And when you in Paris, a nice book sign. So I'm throwing another one. So guess what? At the book sign, you actually have live people together. If you have women discussing cheating, it was so dope. It was so good. I just did one probably about 3 weeks ago. It was electrifying. Just interviewing, talking with the women, and it was like some type of that was most people. And you know what the other young lady was named Tracy? Tracy, you read the books about to start the third book. So that's on my third book. I'm having another book signing, and you're welcome to come bring all the great anything that you have. And I'm telling you, it be like a real showdown. But nobody's acting stupid because I don't play. You know what I'm saying? But we are able to discuss in the debate, so I do it. No problem. No problem. You can definitely like conversation. Like I said, if you're ready for me to come back around, I'm always there. Okay. Appreciate you too. All right. You have a wonderful Uh-huh. Put this shit in that. Yeah. Sit it. Yeah. And you really go back to the days, that YouTube, they had a great conversation. And he said, I'm reading book. Reading reading you got to read good. Charlie Rose, and all these and that's all I need. And you Alicia, yeah. Mhm. Yeah.